And closing out the prelims, man, we got an awesome fight. We got Garrett Armfield taking on Brad Katona. Cool matchup in terms of just stylistically. I think they match up great against each other. And Garrett Armfield's a guy that he's a bit of an enigma right now because I think he's impressed quite a few people in his last performance in the UFC and even in his performance with David Onama and performances prior to being in the octagon. But he hasn't beaten anyone really at a high level, and he hasn't fought too many higher level bantamweights. Whereas Brad Katona, he is a super veteran at this point. He was in the UFC previously, had some big wins. Even won the Ultimate Fighter the first time. He beat Kyler Phillips. He beat Bryce Mitchell. Went to Brave CF. He became the champion over there. Came back, won the Ultimate Fighter again, and then beat Cody Gibson in his last fight to claim that Ultimate Fighter crown. So one thing you can say about Brad Katona is the guy's extremely mentally tough. To be cut after winning the Ultimate Fighter, come back, have to go through the Ultimate Fighter and win it again to get back into the UFC, and especially beating the guys that he beating Cody Gibson, beating a guy like Timur Valiev on the show. So gotta definitely tip your hat to Brad Katona because the guy just get back in the UFC. That was a pretty awesome accomplishment. But this is a great fight right here because the way they match up, I mean, you look at Garrett Armfield, in the stand-up, he should give Katona a lot of issues, especially early on. I mean, he's going to have a big reach advantage. And one thing about Garrett Armfield is the guy can box. He has really good straight punches. I would say he is a lot faster and sharper than Brad Katona, and has some power, and he keeps it really clean, technical. He's accurate. He throws high volume. His last fight, he really just blew Toshima Kazama off the map. He will rip the body, and he's a pretty technically sound striker. You know, with Katona, you watch his fight with Cody Gibson, he was getting lit up a lot, and he does struggle a little bit with those shots straight up the middle, but Katona, to me, he is extremely durable and tenacious. His cardio is never ending. You know, he has an insane gas tank, so he could take damage. And when he starts to connect with his big hooks and his big counters, he has some power, and I feel like he could hurt Armfield. I don't think Armfield is as durable as Katona is. And then one thing about Armfield, it seems like he gets tired, and then you could start to grapple him. And Katona, I expect him to be on Armfield like a wet blanket in this fight. I think he's going to try to close the distance, smash him against the cage, hold him against the fence, get him tired, take him down. And Garrett Armfield maybe will be able to use his athleticism and his decent wrestling defense early on to thwart a little bit of that. But unless he can just catch Katona and knock him out, which I don't think is extremely likely, I think that he's going to get tired. Katona's going to eventually get on top of him and either be able to get the finish with the submission, because we've seen Garrett Armfield give up submissions to multiple opponents, or I think Katona will just win another decision, which is usually Katona's MO. He's not really a big-time finisher in most of his fights. So I'm going to pick Katona. I think this fight's close, though, because I do feel like Armfield could be something special. It's just, I think you got to give the respect to Katona at this point with the prediction, because he's fought the much higher level of competition, and I think that's going to pay dividends here. And I think we're going to see Armfield probably get beat in the grappling realm again, like we've seen him happen to him in the past. And I just need to see Armfield step up, get a significant win, like a win over Brad Katona, before I just come straight out picking him here against a guy like that I respect and is a grizzled veteran, even though I think Armfield could potentially be a very good prospect. So give me Katona in this one, and I'll predict him to win via decision.